got some scraps here I can use to build the base for the cabinet. All right, got a tight squeeze over here, and one thing I noticed, of course, the walls aren't square. They're not square together this way, and they're not square together up and down. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount this cabinet on this wall rather than the back wall. There's just gonna be a little bit of a gap there. I just think it's gonna look a little bit nicer there. First thing I need to do is put this on the base, and I gotta shim up one side of it. Now that I got it shimmed up, it's like wedged in at the top. So I'm gonna have to just I'll get a mallet. Well, that's tight. I barely need to add a screw in there, but I'll put some screws in it. I wanted to show you what I'm working on for my next video. It's this DIY push block, and it's made with a 2x4. It's like a sacrificial 2x4, so you can replace this, you can replace this back cleat. So basically, the thing that you're gonna keep is this handle portion here, which I've also kind of redesigned. This is my prototype, so I'll be making the complete push block in my next video. I also want to point out, because I know a lot of you are going to ask, no, it's not a replacement for my gripper. I'm still going to be using these all the time because there's just so many more features to this. It's got the, the grippy bottom on it, and it's got this adjustable fence on the side, and then you can adjust this part in the middle like this to ride over the blade so none of this gets cut up. And no, this is not sponsored by Microjig, I just really like the product. But you'll be able to make this for next to nothing. So here's how this works. Say you want to rip this board down to that wide. This cleat on the back of the push block grabs a hold of the end of that board, and then you can keep it pressed down and against the fence. So since this is a sacrificial 2x4, it's designed to just cut into it a little bit if you need it to. Obviously, if I was going to make a cut over here, it wouldn't cut into it at all. Probably most cuts, it wouldn't really cut into it at all, but you'd be able to make very thin cuts with this also. So the replaceable parts are going to be this cleat on the back and then the 2x4. And a lot of people, whenever I show this, ask me about the metal screws, if that's going to pose a problem. It's not a problem as long as you're not raising your blade way up. I mean, if your blade is raised that far up, it's too high anyway. So just keep mindful of that. If it's something that you're afraid that your blade is going to hit one of those screws, you could use nylon screws in here rather than regular ones. But I'm pretty sure that I can avoid those for the most part. So here's how that cut, and it just left this groove in the 2x4. Probably the first thing that's going to get used up is this cleat before you use up the 2x4. So ideally you would just make a number of these and have them on hand. You could also reuse it by screwing it on this side. Now I've got this to use. And when it's time to replace the 2x4, this is the handle. Like that. And you could actually flip it over, I suppose, if you wanted to, or probably just cut another 2x4. This is going to be the first in a series of woodworking jigs that I think every beginning woodworker should make. And today I'm just kind of finalizing these plans and making sure the measurements and everything are all right. One of the things I wanted to do was make sure that I include the actual screws and washers that you're going to need to make this thing. One of the things I did from this prototype was I changed this handle. I made it smaller and narrower. It just looks more sleek that way, streamlined. This is like the sports model. Anyway, something you can make with some scrap wood. That'll be on my next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.